Sanhedrin, one of the most influential judicial and legislative bodies in ancient Jewish society, played a central role in the administration of justice in Judea, particularly during the Second Temple period, 516 BCE to 70 CE. Its name, derived from the Greek Sanhedrin meaning assembly or council, reflects its function as a council of elders and legal authorities who were responsible for interpreting Jewish law, adjudicating disputes, and advising political leaders. Understanding the Sanhedrin requires examining its origins, composition, jurisdiction, legal procedures, and historical impact, as well as its enduring legacy in Jewish legal thought. Origins and historical context. The origins of the Sanhedrin can be traced back to the biblical period, with earlier forms of judicial councils described in the Torah. The book of Exodus, 18:13-27, describes how Moses, advised by his father-in-law Jethro, established a system of judges to hear cases of varying complexity, reserving the most difficult cases for himself. This hierarchical judicial system laid the groundwork for later Jewish councils. During the Second Temple period, the Sanhedrin emerged as a formal institution, consolidating religious and civil authority in Jerusalem. By the time of Hellenistic influence and later Roman occupation, the Sanhedrin had evolved into a body with both religious and judicial power, serving as a bridge between the Jewish population and imperial authorities. Composition and structure. The Great Sanhedrin, the Supreme Council, was traditionally composed of 71 members, although other sources indicate variations. These members included priests, Levites, and lay scholars, with the high priest presiding as the official head. The division of membership was symbolic, reflecting a balance between religious authority, wisdom, and popular representation. The Sanhedrin convened in the Hall of Hewn Stones, Lishkat Hagazit, within the temple complex, a location that underscored the connection between divine law and judicial authority. In addition to the Great Sanhedrin, there were smaller local councils, often numbering 23 members, known as the Lesser Sanhedrin. These bodies operated in towns and cities, adjudicating local disputes and handling minor criminal and civil cases. The structure of the Sanhedrin allowed for a hierarchical judicial system, ensuring consistency in legal interpretation and facilitating communication between local and central authorities. Jurisdiction and legal authority. The Sanhedrin exercised wide-ranging jurisdiction over both civil and criminal matters, as well as religious and ritual issues. Its authority was rooted in the Torah, particularly the laws outlined in the Pentateuch, and in later rabbinic interpretations. The Sanhedrin's responsibilities included 1. Civil litigation, resolving disputes over property, contracts, inheritance, and family law. Civil cases required deliberation according to Torah law, and judgments were expected to reflect principles of fairness and equity. 2. Criminal prosecution, adjudicating serious criminal offenses, including murder, theft, and adultery. The Sanhedrin had the power to impose capital punishment, though rabbinic sources suggest that executions were rare and required stringent procedural safeguards. 3. Religious and ritual oversight, ensuring adherence to religious laws including sacrifices, purity regulations, and festival observances. The Sanhedrin could issue rulings affecting temple practices and the calendar. 4. Legislative functions, issuing decrees, takanot, and clarifying ambiguities in the Torah, thus functioning as a legislative as well as a judicial body. These rulings helped adapt ancient laws to the social realities of the time, maintaining legal and moral cohesion in Jewish society. Under Roman rule, the Sanhedrin's authority was gradually limited, particularly in capital cases, reflecting the tension between Jewish autonomy and imperial oversight. Despite these constraints, the Sanhedrin remained a central institution for interpreting and enforcing Jewish law until the destruction of the Second Temple in 70 CE. Legal procedures and deliberation. The judicial procedures of the Sanhedrin were governed by strict rules designed to ensure fairness and prevent misuse of authority. These included witness requirements. Most cases required the testimony of at least 2 valid witnesses, emphasizing the importance of corroboration and preventing false accusations. Majority rule. Decisions were made based on majority vote, though capital cases required a nuanced approach. For death sentences, a majority of at least 2 was required, and a tie or unanimity could prevent execution. Deliberative debate. The Sanhedrin was known for rigorous debate and consultation with texts, ensuring that judgments were deeply rooted in legal and ethical principles. Appeal and review. Lower courts could refer complex cases to the Great Sanhedrin for final judgment, promoting consistency and central oversight. These procedures highlight the Sanhedrin's commitment to due process and the moral and religious dimensions of justice, reflecting a sophisticated legal culture in ancient Judea. Interaction with political authorities. The Sanhedrin often operated in close relationship with political authorities, including the Hasmonean rulers and later Roman governors. This dual role as both a religious and judicial body required balancing autonomy with political realities. The Sanhedrin advised rulers on legal and religious matters, and its decisions could influence taxation, governance, and social policy. At times, tensions arose, particularly when Roman authorities sought to assert control over capital cases or religious regulations. These interactions illustrate the complexity of administering justice under foreign occupation while preserving traditional law. Decline and legacy. The destruction of the Second Temple in 70 CE and the subsequent upheavals of society, the decline of the Sanhedrin as a functioning judicial body. Attempts to reestablish it in different locations, such as Yavne and later Tiberias, were partially successful, but it never regained the same authority. Nevertheless, the legal and ethical principles established by the Sanhedrin had a lasting influence on Rabbinic Judaism. The Mishnah and Talmud preserve extensive records of Sanhedrin rulings, procedures, and debates, forming the foundation of Jewish law, halakha. The Sanhedrin's emphasis on deliberation, majority rule, and witness testimony continues to inform modern Jewish legal thought. Significance in Jewish legal and ethical tradition. The Sanhedrin represents a unique synthesis of religious and civil law, combining theological authority with practical judicial functions. Its significance lies in several key areas. 1. Institutionalizing justice. By creating a formalized system of courts, the Sanhedrin ensured that legal disputes were resolved according to codified principles rather than arbitrary decisions. 2. Balancing authority and morality. The body served as a model for balancing legal power with ethical considerations, a theme central to later rabbinic literature. 3. Preserving legal continuity. Even after its decline, the Sanhedrin's procedures and interpretations influenced Jewish law for centuries, providing a framework for communal governance and dispute resolution. 4. Interaction with broader society. The Sanhedrin's existence demonstrates how law and religion were intertwined in ancient societies, and how judicial bodies could mediate between a community and external political powers. The Sanhedrin remains a symbol of the intellectual and moral rigor of Jewish legal tradition, representing an enduring legacy of principled governance. Sources: 1. Neusner J., 1994, A History of the Jews in Babylonia, Volume 2, The Early Sages, Brill. 2. Berman J., 2000, The Sanhedrin, Court of Ancient Israel, University Press of America. 3. Graby L.L., 2004, Judaism from Cyrus to Hadrian, The Persian and Greek Periods, Routledge. 4. Cohen S.J.D., 1987, From the Maccabees to the Mishnah, Westminster, John Knox Press. 5. Schur E. and Vermes G., 1973, The History of the Jewish People in the Age of Jesus Christ, T&T Clark. 6. Levine L.I., 2002, The Ancient Synagogue, The First 1,000 Years, Yale University Press. 7. Goodman M., 2007, Roman Jerusalem, The Clash of Ancient Civilizations, Vintage Books.